Alright guys, not really the project I'm wanting to get into. Nothing exciting here, a little 235. I tore it down the first time, put fuel lines on it, realized it needed a carb kit, so I got over on eBay, ordered a OEM, what was supposed to be in the right OEM carb kit for it, but what I didn't know is that these things had two different carbs on them. Both Zamas, it's like a C10-1 or something, I don't know, or something. You just have to look it up, I guess, but two different carburetors for this. I'm really hoping I've got the right kit now. Really weird carburetor. It all kind of just comes off the bottom, your meter and diaphragm, and then your pump diaphragms below it. Highly doubt I'll show doing the rebuild of the carb on camera because I absolutely hate rebuilding carbs, but you know, figured I might show tearing it down to get the carb off, which is super simple. Hopefully I got you guys in frame good. If not, we'll probably just trash can the video, hit the computer, and you would not believe how many times that I've done that in the past, or blurry videos, or you know, other stuff. Let's make sure our lens is clean. If we got a lens wipe in my pocket, I don't. I actually bought a bunch to leave out here for my glasses. There, hopefully that done it. One of the HIPAA videos I done, the lady kind of said it was blurry, so I ended up doing another test cut video with that chain, but I don't think I really cared anyway. It was just getting their links in the description, and whatever is what it is. We did get our 2 free products from that, nothing special. Got some parts for a saw that you guys probably won't see for months. They were free gifts, and we got like a screwdriver set, which had very little of anything in it I could use, to be honest with you. Just a bunch of weird different screwdrivers supposedly for different carburetors, but let's see, I'm doing something wrong. We've got to get the trigger out. One guy watched a video, tore the whole dang handle assembly apart for that trigger, and I swear it's as simple as just smashing the trigger and pulling it out of there. We grab something else, or usually it is. It's gonna make a liar out of me this time, but I'm not going to tear the whole damn handle apart to get the trigger out. I've had it apart 3 times, sadly enough. We've not had to do anything crazy yet, such as pulling half of the saw apart. There, there's enough slop in that trigger to move it over, you know, a good pair of needle nose would probably been easier. You can move the trigger over this way and then kind of cock the handle around, and you know, that trigger linkage will come right out. I know someone's going to say that's not the proper way to do it. I really don't care. So. I'm not for sure what I'm going to do with this saw. It'd probably just be like a beater saw, a loaner saw. I'd mentioned porting it before, I think, but who knows? I highly doubt it. It's Stratos. Probably get some gains out of it, but it wouldn't be nothing, you know, anything crazy. But where's our screwdriver? Lose my head if it wasn't attached a lot of the times, I think. We've got a screw here. Take the air filter assembly out. This is the same carb, to my understanding, that a 435 uses, which means this was a later model saw. Some of the earlier ones had the older carb that I'd screwed up and ordered the wrong kit for. And what was weird, when I got that kit here, I left those bolts loose. That's a good thing. Didn't even have a meter and diaphragm in it. It had like probably 10 different pump diaphragms, and I don't know, just weird. Probably something some eBay seller threw together to make $1, but you know, it did have a Husqvarna logo on the bag, which really means nothing, I guess. I know, real exciting video. If it helps out one person, you know, we'll have done something, I guess. But it is what it is. Hopefully the carb kit fixes it and I get it running. Looks like going rate on the saw is probably like 60-70 bucks or something in running form. So like I said, it just something it'll just be a beater loaner saw. May trade it to something, who knows, but may just be one I take over to the property and leave as well. You just lay that over to the side and carb pulls off. You got a line here and a line down here, and the way those lines are out, this one goes into the carb. It's going to pump fresh fuel through the metering block. Let's see, this one will go to the carb to pull fuel out of the tank, and then you have your return comes out here and back into the tank, if that makes sense to anyone at all. Your side of your primer bulb, it's usually pretty easy to figure out. That pulls suction is always the one that goes to the carb, so it can pull fuel through the carb. It's, you know, I've mentioned it in another video, it's actually a purge bulb. There is some older saws that do primer, but we're talking like really old. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pull this thing apart, and once I get it pulled apart, I'll just give you guys a look at, you know, how everything goes and if we got the right kit for it. Okay guys, so to get this apart, you've got your typical 4 screws like any other carb, but when it comes off, this plate has a screw that bolts it to the bottom plate. It kind of goes like this, but the bottom side is going to, you know, be your metering diaphragm, then the top side your pump diaphragm. You would do the pump diaphragm first, put your screw back in, and then, you know, lay your metering diaphragm back in, and, you know, it'd be as simple as that. I know I've seen guys rebuild carbs up close on camera. My hands are really shaky. I ain't gonna lie to anyone, I ain't the world's best at it, but, you know, I can usually get it done. If the carb's rebuildable, I've had a lot here that if it goes as far as needing Welch plugs knocked out and needle valve changed, I'll change needle valve every now and then, but not every time, depending on what it is. Some little bitty carb like this, usually you're better off just to try to locate a different carb, but in this case, an OEM carb was like, I think around 50 bucks to go back on it, and the value of the saw just didn't justify doing it. But this is the kit you'll need for this. Should be the same kit for a 435 to my understanding. This is a Zama kit. But, you know, just thought I'd show that. But hopefully the next thing we see is this thing running. I'm not going to video putting it back together. It'd just be pointless. You know, just reverse what we done taking it apart. And, you know, may help someone, may not. But hopefully the next thing we see is this thing fired up and running. Okay, do this, maybe help someone, maybe not, but your gasket will always go down first, and then we've got our diaphragm, plastic diaphragm. That means it's safe for ethanol, but I've used ethanol fuel and everything here forever and really ain't had much of a problem. It'll lay just like that. It's, you know, kind of given. It's got one pin down here you just need to line up, and then once you get that, your Other plate is going to lay on and screw back on, and you know, once I get to where show you how the meter and diaphragm lays on it, I'll bring you back then. Okay, so to make sure everything was lined up, all our holes, I just put one of our screws in each corner and then put our screw in and cinched everything down. So on that note, we should be good to go there. Alright guys, so in this case, you know, the diaphragm went down first. I did put just at least a little bit of grease down just to hold it in place. Would have been really nice if they would have given us 2 locating pins instead of just the one, but whatever it is, what it is, we'll take what we get. Then as usual, you know, your gasket's going to go against the carburetor, but in a nutshell, that's kind of how it all goes. I'm going to finish putting it together, you know, our 4 screws back in, and hopefully this thing runs, because I'm about $20 in on carb kits here, and you know, ain't really got a running saw yet, so I'll bring you guys back then. When things just don't go your way, that's what we're going to title this. I'm pretty sure it probably just sucked out of fuel there, but something's up in one of the check valves. I guess the one under the for the low jet, and for the primer pulse, because it just kind of sucks straight through, and you have to have the low jet like bottomed all the way out for it to run. And it's super rich. You've probably seen it once there settle down, but I'm willing to bet the tank's about empty. She is set dry. I don't really want to put any more in it just to show what it's doing. You can just take my word, but I'd hope you would, being I'm showing a failure here. So what I'm going to start doing a series of when things don't go your way. Basically, it's, you know, I went back into it twice, checked meter and lever height, made sure the needle valve was sealing off, all that's fine. It's just the fact of that passageway, like it's completely open, who knows. And she's flooding to death, giving the low jet all the fuel it wants. I'm not into popping the Welch plug out and checking things. It's just, like I said earlier, if it goes to needing stuff like that, in my opinion, it's just time for a carburetor. I know other people completely disassemble these things and do crazy stuff with them, but, you know, it's just not me. My hands are shaky. Just, my nerves couldn't handle it. Just, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to recheck and see how much we can get an OEM carb for this thing for, or maybe even see if Farmer Tech has one. See if we can get lucky there. You know, I'm going to say 3 out of 5 Farmer Tech carbs are usually good. Kind of funny, all the ones that come with the kit saws seem to be fine, but I don't really have anything in the saw other than the price for that kit. The first kit I think I paid $6.99 for or something. This one was $9.99 and the price of a plug. So, you know, I think it'll be worth getting another carb and sticking on it, and, you know, getting a little saw put together. Dang thing looks like new. You know, it's like I've said before, it's not the best test in the world, but you know, it has decent compression. It was missing a coil when I got it, but with all of my junk out in the shed, you know, we dug around, and it's like the same coil that's like for your really old small Huskies and Johnsreds back from, and I'm sure some Poland's back from the mid to late 90s, you know, went right on it. And once we get it going, that'll be a positive thing because it won't have a rev limiter. But yeah, things don't always go your way, or they don't mind here, and you know, a lot of guys don't show that. Some people do. And I give props to the guys that will actually show when, you know, stuff don't just quite go their way, but you know, we give it our best and tried. I went back into it 3 times, and you know, You got to pull the whole damn handle assembly off of it just to get the carb off. It's a little crazy. It's not anything major. It's just 3 screws, but whatever, it is what it is. I'll put together a little video, you know. Maybe me showing how the diaphragms went in may help someone, may not. Wish it would have worked out in our favor, but you know, it will kind of try to run on its own now. Just really, really rich. I'm half tempted to put fuel back in it just to show you guys what it's doing, but gallon of high test, about $5 a gallon right now. I'm not going to waste it just to smoke up the shop with this thing and water my eyes. But anyway, you guys have a good one.